Have you ever wondered why silence can sometimes echo louder than words? When you choose peace instead of anger, calm instead of chaos, you create a presence that no one can ignore. It is in those quiet moments when the world expects you to break that your true strength begins to shine. A woman who once knew you sees this shift, and something inside her changes. She doesn't see desperation. She doesn't see pain. She sees control. And that control is magnetic. Peace carries a power that rage can never touch. When you move forward without noise, without trying to prove yourself, you disrupt every expectation she may have had. The human mind prepares itself for predictable outcomes, bitterness, sadness, or endless attempts for attention. But when you choose a path of inner calm, you interrupt that pattern. This interruption creates a deep psychological dissonance, because what she thought she would see no longer exists. That quiet strength unsettles her more than anger ever could. Your peaceful energy speaks for you. It tells a story of resilience, of discipline, of self-respect. It announces that you are no longer defined by the past. This is where the shift begins. She expected to see weakness, but instead she sees a man standing firm. She expected to see struggle, but instead she sees freedom. That realization leaves her with questions she cannot ignore. How did you rise above it so gracefully? How did you rebuild without bitterness? How did you turn pain into power? The answer is simple, yet powerful. Peace is a choice. It is not about her, and it is not about proving a point. It is about you reclaiming your worth, your dignity, and your future. By not fighting for her attention, you show that your energy is too valuable to be wasted on conflict. By not chasing, you demonstrate that your life has moved forward. This absence of resistance builds a presence stronger than any words could ever achieve. And here lies the reward for you. Every step you take in peace not only unsettles her expectations, but also frees you from emotional chains. You are no longer bound by the need for closure, validation, or revenge. Instead, you hold the quiet satisfaction of knowing you have mastered yourself. That mastery radiates and it cannot be ignored. Stay with this journey, because what you will discover in the next moments will deepen this truth even further. You will see how your growth, your calm, and your silent strength awaken feelings she never expected to face. And more importantly, you will see how those same qualities build the foundation for your greatest transformation yet. Because peace is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a new one. There is a moment that catches her off guard. A moment when she realizes you are not where she left you. She expected to find you broken, struggling to move forward, stuck in the memory of what was lost. Yet instead, she sees growth. This discovery shocks her because the human mind often underestimates another person's strength. We imagine that once someone is hurt, they will remain in the shadow of that pain. But when you rise with quiet determination, when you elevate yourself instead of collapsing, it changes everything she thought she knew about you. Growth after heartbreak is one of the most underestimated forces in human psychology. Pain can break a person, but it can also ignite transformation. When you choose to rise instead of fall, your energy takes on a different weight. She sees that weight in you, not as a burden, but as a newfound strength that reshapes the way you carry yourself. It is visible in the calmness of your face, in the steady rhythm of your life, in the way you are no longer defined by what ended. That realization unsettles her because it proves that you were never as fragile as she believed. The admiration she feels is silent, but it is powerful. Even if she doesn't admit it, a part of her respects what you have become. It's not admiration rooted in attraction, but in recognition of strength. To see someone grow after being wounded forces respect, because it takes discipline and courage to turn pain into progress. Deep inside, she may feel regret for underestimating you, but more importantly, you begin to feel the reward of your own resilience. That is where the true victory lies. Understand that growth is not about impressing her or anyone else. It's about showing yourself what you are capable of when life tests you. Every step you take in becoming stronger, wiser, and more focused is a declaration that your identity is not tied to loss. You are more than the pain you endured. You are more than the stories she thought would define you. And as you embody that truth, you unlock a freedom that cannot be taken away. This shift creates an energy that cannot be ignored. She feels it, you feel it, and the world around you feels it too. It is the energy of someone who chose progress over pity, discipline over despair, dignity over desperation. That choice not only changes how others see you, it changes how you see yourself. And the most powerful transformation begins when you look in the mirror and recognize the strength staring back at you. Your growth is the signal. It tells her, and more importantly, it tells you that the past no longer defines the future. The shock of your transformation is not her burden to carry. It is your gift to embrace. This is the strength that carries you forward into the life you deserve. Respect begins to take root the moment she realizes that you no longer live in the shadows of what ended. At first, she may have looked at you with pity, assuming you would crumble, assuming you would chase, assuming you would wait for closure that might never come. But when your energy carries peace, when your choices reflect discipline, pity dissolves and something far more powerful takes its place. Respect is born, and respect always lasts longer than attraction. The human mind is wired to admire control. We are drawn to those who can master their emotions because most people cannot. Anger is common. Bitterness is easy. Desperation is predictable. But calm, steady dignity is rare, and rare things demand attention. When she sees that you are no longer desperate for her approval, that you do not need her validation to feel complete, she feels the weight of that difference. That weight is what turns her gaze from sympathy into recognition. Respect is not something you ask for. It is something you earn by the way you carry yourself. Every step you take without anger, every choice you make without resentment, every moment you live without the need to prove her wrong builds an invisible wall of strength around you. She senses it even if she cannot put it into words. That wall is not built to keep her out. It is built to protect your peace. And protection of peace is one of the strongest signals of self-worth. What makes this shift so powerful is the contrast. She once knew you in a state of vulnerability. She saw the pain, she saw the confusion, and perhaps she assumed that would define you. But when you rise with composure, you show her a version of you that she never expected. The man who was once shaken is now unshakable. The man who once looked for answers now moves with clarity. That transformation forces her to reevaluate not only who you are, but also who she is in comparison to the strength she sees before her. Respect does not guarantee she will return. Respect does not mean she will confess regret. What it does guarantee is a shift in perception. And that shift is powerful because it places you in a position of quiet authority over your own life. You are no longer at the mercy of her decisions. You are no longer defined by her presence or her absence. You stand on your own, and that posture commands acknowledgement. The true victory in this moment is not in what she feels, but in what you become. By choosing peace, you elevate yourself to a level where pity cannot reach you and disrespect cannot touch you. That is the kind of strength that endures. That is the kind of presence that cannot be ignored. Respect replaces pity, and from that moment forward, you move with a dignity that nothing and no one can take away. When respect begins to form, it does more than shift how she sees you. It forces her to turn inward, to look at herself in ways she may not have expected. Your peace acts as a mirror. It reflects back the choices she made, the path she took, and the reality of what she left behind. This is not about you seeking revenge or validation. It is about the natural effect that calm strength has on the human mind. When someone encounters a version of you that no longer carries pain, they are left alone with their own thoughts. And those thoughts can be heavy. She begins to ask silent questions that have no easy answers. Was her decision truly right? Did she underestimate you? Did she trade stability for uncertainty? Every moment she sees your growth, every time she notices your composure, those questions grow louder inside her mind. This is the power of reflection. It does not require your words. It does not require your presence. It only requires the undeniable evidence of your transformation. And transformation has a way of shaking people at their core because it highlights what they themselves have not mastered. The psychology is simple. Humans use comparison as a way to understand themselves. When she sees your calm, she cannot help but measure it against her own life. If her path has brought chaos or emptiness, your peace exposes the contrast. If her choices have led to uncertainty, your clarity magnifies the difference. Even if she seems unaffected on the surface, inside she feels the tension. It is impossible to ignore the mirror once it has been placed before you. But here is where the power lies. Your role is not to focus on what she feels or how she responds. Your role is to stay true to the peace you have built. Because this journey was never about proving her wrong, it was about proving yourself right. When you choose discipline over reaction, you show that you are the author of your own story. And when you hold your ground in peace, you remind her, and more importantly yourself, that strength is not loud, it is steady. Her reflection is her own battle, not yours. The guilt, the doubt, the wondering, those are the natural consequences of choices made in the past. What matters for you is that you have shifted from needing answers to becoming the answer. You embody the closure you once searched for. You are no longer waiting to be chosen because you have already chosen yourself. And that choice is the greatest mirror of all. The deeper she reflects, the more you rise. The more she questions, the more you affirm your own worth. That balance creates a powerful truth. Your peace is not only healing you, it is reshaping the way she sees herself. And that is the kind of influence no words could ever achieve. Detachment is often misunderstood. Many think it means not caring, shutting down, or turning cold. But true detachment is none of those things. True detachment is freedom. It is the ability to walk forward without being chained to the weight of someone else's choices. It is the calm realization that your value does not rise or fall based on who stays or who leaves. And when she sees you living with this kind of freedom, she feels something she cannot control. It creates a pull, not because you are trying to draw her back, but because your detachment makes your presence rare. Scarcity has a powerful effect on the human mind. What cannot be easily reached becomes more desirable. When you stop seeking, when you stop waiting, when you stop trying to prove yourself, you remove yourself from her control. That absence of dependence flips the balance. Suddenly she realizes she does not influence your emotions anymore. She cannot push you into reaction. She cannot pull you back into old cycles. Your peace has cut the strings that once tied you down, and in doing so, it has shifted the power entirely. This is why detachment feels magnetic. You are not ignoring her. You are not hiding from her. You are simply free from needing her. And freedom radiates in a way that cannot be faked. She sees it in your choices, in the way you invest in yourself, in the way you move without hesitation. The more detached you become, the more she notices that you cannot be reached in the same way you once were. And that realization awakens a subtle but undeniable attraction, not always romantic, but deeply psychological. What makes this so powerful is the calmness that comes with it. There is no bitterness in your detachment, no hidden agenda, no attempt to manipulate her perception. It is simply the truth of a man who has learned that his peace is too valuable to gamble with. That truth commands attention because most people are ruled by attachment. Most people are controlled by fear of loss, fear of being forgotten, fear of being replaced. But when you rise above those fears, you step into a different kind of strength. The gift of detachment is not what it makes her feel, it is what it gives to you. It liberates you from waiting. It frees you from cycles of pain. It hands back the control you once gave away. And in that freedom, you discover a confidence that does not depend on anyone else. She may feel the pull, she may feel the curiosity, she may even feel the regret, but none of that defines your peace. Your peace is defined by you. Detachment is not indifference. Detachment is power. It is the strength to love yourself enough to walk forward without hesitation. It is the quiet assurance that your life is not anchored to the past. And when she sees this freedom in you, she cannot help but feel the weight of what she lost. Confidence is not built on noise. It is not shown in trying too hard, proving too much, or speaking too loudly. True confidence lives in calmness. It is seen in the steady way you carry yourself, in the unshaken energy that surrounds you, in the quiet assurance that you do not need to be validated to know your worth. When she looks at you and no longer sees bitterness or desperation, she begins to feel the aura of someone who has become untouchable. The aura is not arrogance, it is certainty. And certainty is one of the most powerful forces a human being can project. When you no longer seek her attention, your entire energy shifts. You no longer walk into a room hoping to be noticed. You no longer measure your progress by her reactions. You no longer need to remind anyone of what they lost. This absence of need is what creates presence. It is a paradox of human psychology. The less you try to be validated, the more validation you naturally receive. She sees it in the way you stand, the way you focus, the way you move with intention. She feels it in the way you no longer carry the weight of proving yourself. Confidence that comes from peace is intimidating, not because it is aggressive, but because it is unshakable. People can challenge words, they can doubt appearances, but they cannot break the quiet consistency of someone who knows who they are. She may not speak it, but she feels it. She feels the difference between the man who once fought for approval and the man who now walks freely without it. That difference is what makes your confidence feel undeniable. Confidence is not loud, it is steady. It is not about showing the world you are strong, it is about not needing the world to tell you. This kind of confidence grows when you detach from outcomes, when you stop obsessing over what she thinks, when you stop letting her choices decide your value. That shift creates an aura that does not fade because it is not borrowed from her recognition. It is built from within. and what is built from within cannot be taken away. What she feels when she sees this is both admiration and discomfort. Admiration because strength is always attractive, and discomfort because she no longer holds the power she once did. She realizes you cannot be shaken, you cannot be pulled, you cannot be baited into old patterns. That realization is powerful because it forces her to see you as more than she ever expected. The greatest reward for you is not her recognition, but your liberation. You no longer live to impress, to prove, or to chase. You live from a place of certainty, and certainty is freedom. That freedom creates an energy that radiates without effort, and when she feels it, she understands the truth. You have become unshakable, and nothing can take that away. Regret is a powerful emotion, and it awakens when the reality of loss collides with the evidence of your growth. She may not show it outwardly, she may never confess it directly, but deep inside she begins to feel the weight of what she let go. The realization that you did not crumble without her, that you did not lose yourself in despair, that you did not cling to the past, plants a seed of regret that quietly grows. It is not fueled by anger or bitterness. It is fueled by the undeniable truth that you have risen higher than before. Human psychology teaches us that we value most what we no longer have. When something is within reach, it can be overlooked, taken for granted, underestimated. But once it is gone, once it becomes untouchable, the mind replays the memory of it with sharper clarity. This is what happens when she sees your peace. The calm you carry now was not the energy she once recognized. She remembers moments when you were vulnerable, moments when she thought you would never recover. Yet now she sees strength, clarity, and dignity radiating from you. That contrast awakens a silent voice inside her that whispers, "I misjudged him." Regret often does not arrive with noise. It arrives quietly, in thoughts she cannot silence. It surfaces when she sees the steady rhythm of your life. It lingers when she notices that you no longer revolve around her. It intensifies when she realizes that the love she thought was dependent on her was actually your reflection of character, loyalty, and resilience. By moving on peacefully, you have shown her what she underestimated, and that recognition is where regret begins to live. But while regret grows in her, your reward is transformation. You did not rise so she could feel the sting of what she lost. You rose because you discovered that peace is stronger than pain. The life you are now building is not a weapon against her, but a shield for you. And that is why your growth carries so much weight. She sees it not as an act of defiance, but as a declaration of independence. You no longer need her to feel whole. That truth is what sharpens the edges of her regret. The beauty of this stage is that you no longer chase outcomes. Her regret does not define you. Her recognition does not complete you, and her silence does not disturb you. You have already stepped into freedom, and freedom is a place where no past decision can chain you. She may feel the loss deeply, but you feel the victory more deeply still. The victory of choosing yourself, the victory of building peace, the victory of becoming the man who does not break under pressure but grows stronger through it. And that victory is one that no one can take away. The weight you carry is not meant to break you, it is meant to shape you. Every demand placed on your shoulders is a test of whether you will bend or whether you will rise taller. When the world presses against you, it is not to suffocate you, but to force the strengths you did not know you had to the surface. You are not here to simply endure what life throws your way. You are here to transform it into fuel, into drive, into an unstoppable force that no setback can contain. You are the architect of your resilience, and every time you refuse to collapse under pressure, you add another layer to the foundation of your greatness. There will be times when doubt screams louder than hope, times when the mirror reflects every weakness you wish you could hide, times when your effort feels wasted, unseen, and unrewarded. But it is in those very moments that you must recognize the truth. Growth is not measured by applause. It is measured by persistence. The invisible battles you win inside yourself are worth more than any recognition, because when you choose to keep going when no one is watching, you are proving to yourself that your power is not dependent on validation. It is born from within, and it only grows stronger every time you choose progress over surrender. Discomfort is not your enemy, it is your ally. The burn you feel when you push further, the ache in your heart when patience is tested, the restlessness when results seem far away, all of it is a signal that you are moving beyond who you were yesterday. Comfort cages your potential, but struggle releases it. You are not meant to live In the shadows of ease, you are meant to break into the light of your fullest capacity, and the only way you get there is by stepping into the pain, breathing through it, and realizing that it is shaping you into someone unrecognizable from who you once were. Every obstacle is a mirror reflecting your will. Every failure is a challenge asking, how badly do you want this? Every delay is testing your patience, asking if your vision is stronger than your frustration. And the truth is, nothing worth having comes without demanding proof of your commitment. The universe will not hand you victory because you wish for it. It will only reveal it when you fight with unwavering conviction, when you refuse to let setbacks steal the belief that burns in your soul. You must decide in every moment that you will not retreat. You must declare to yourself that quitting is not an option. You must rise to the challenge with fire in your chest and steel in your mind. Because the life you want, the person you dream of becoming, the future you refuse to let slip away, it is all waiting for you, but only if you dare to prove that nothing can break your spirit. Do you want me to keep building more sections like this so they connect seamlessly into a long, powerful script for your video series? Your mind holds the keys to every barrier you face. The limits you feel are not walls. They are illusions created by fear, hesitation, and doubt. When you allow those illusions to dictate your path, you shrink yourself into a life that feels safer but emptier. The truth is that safety has never built greatness. Safety never gave birth to strength. Safety never carved out legacies. It is only when you step beyond the borders of your comfort that you begin to taste what you are truly capable of. Your potential is not hidden somewhere outside of you. It is buried beneath the layers of hesitation you've built through years of compromise. Every time you break through those layers, you unlock another piece of who you are meant to be. You are not weak because you feel fear. You are human. Fear is a natural signal that you are standing at the edge of growth. But what separates those who remain ordinary from those who become extraordinary is not the absence of fear. It is the refusal to let fear control their steps. Courage is not the absence of trembling hands or racing thoughts. It is the decision to move forward regardless. You do not need certainty to move. You do not need perfection to begin. You need only the determination to act in spite of everything that tells you not to. That decision alone rewrites the course of your destiny. Discipline is the silent power that will separate you from the masses. Motivation is fleeting, emotion rises and falls, but discipline is the choice to keep showing up even when your feelings try to convince you otherwise. It is the steel backbone that holds you upright when exhaustion, frustration, and doubt attempt to pull you down. Every repetition, every small act of commitment, every decision to follow through when quitting feels easier. These are the invisible bricks that build empires. The life you want will not be won in moments of excitement. It will be one in the consistency of your actions when excitement has long disappeared. There will be voices inside and around you that whisper you are not enough. Voices that remind you of every past mistake, every shortcoming, every weakness. But those voices are only as powerful as the attention you give them. The moment you decide that they do not define you is the moment their power begins to fade. You are not your failures. You are not your doubts. You are not the mistakes you once made. You are the strength that rises from them. You are the perseverance that refuses to let them be the final word. Your life is waiting for the moment you finally say yes to your own power. Not half-heartedly, not with hesitation, but with the full force of your being. When you commit with that level of intensity, everything shifts. Doors that seemed locked begin to open. Strength you thought you lacked begins to surge. And the path ahead, no matter how long, becomes one you're finally ready to walk with fire in your soul and certainty in your stride. Do you want me to keep generating more 500-word sections like this until you have a full-length script for your project? The fire inside you is not meant to be contained. It is not meant to be dimmed or quieted by the weight of doubt or the noise of the world. That fire is your reminder that you are alive, that you carry within you the power to create, to overcome, to rise. Too often, people wait for permission to unleash their strength, but you must understand that the only permission you need is your own. You do not need the world to validate you before you begin. You do not need applause to move forward. The courage to trust your own fire is the beginning of transformation. Every challenge you face is not an enemy but a teacher. It is there to stretch you, to break down the limits you thought were permanent, and to reveal a strength you did not know you had. Struggles are not punishments, they are invitations to grow. They come to shape you into someone who cannot be easily broken, someone who has seen the storm and still stands unshaken. And while the world may see difficulty as a reason to retreat, you must choose to see it as a reason to push harder. Pain may visit, but pain is not permanent. It is the passage through which you walk into resilience, and on the other side of it lies a version of yourself you will never regret meeting. There will be days when nothing feels possible, when the weight of your own mind tries to convince you that moving forward is pointless. On those days, remember that progress is not always loud or visible. Sometimes progress is the quiet decision to not give up. Sometimes progress is the silent act of standing your ground when every voice tells you to run. Each of those choices builds momentum. Each small act of defiance against your own doubt is a victory that compounds over time, shaping you into someone unstoppable. The world you dream of creating will not hand itself to you. It will test your resolve. It will question your hunger. It will demand sacrifices from you that few are willing to give. And in those moments of demand, you will have two options: surrender to the difficulty or rise above it. Surrender may bring temporary comfort, but it will never bring fulfillment. Rising, though painful, brings transformation. Rising aligns you with the strength you were born to embody. Do not underestimate the quiet power of persistence. Success is not a sudden explosion. It is the gradual building of an unshakable foundation. It is the relentless stacking of effort upon effort, day after day, until the weight of your consistency becomes impossible to ignore. The world cannot deny the one who refuses to be moved, the one who refuses to bow to failure, the one who refuses to live a life smaller than their potential. You are that person. You are the storm that cannot be silenced. And the moment you fully believe it is the moment nothing in this world will be able to stand in your way. The moment you decide that your peace matters more than proving anything to anyone, you step into a power most people never discover. The energy you once wasted trying to be understood, trying to be accepted, trying to be validated, suddenly becomes fuel for your growth. Peace is not weakness. Peace is mastery. It is the strength of knowing you do not need chaos to feel alive. It is the courage of refusing to be controlled by the noise of other people's expectations. When you carry peace in your spirit, you walk into every room unshaken, and people feel it without you saying a word. True confidence is not loud. It does not need to announce itself. It lives in your posture, your decisions, your silence, your refusal to be pulled into unnecessary battles. That is why those who once doubted you will feel unsettled when they see you calm. They will wonder how you managed to detach from the drama they thought you needed. They will ask themselves why their opinion no longer defines you. And the truth is, it is because you discovered something greater than their approval. You discovered freedom. The freedom that comes from letting go is unlike anything else. When you stop clinging to what hurt you, when you stop chasing after what left you, you create space for something better. Holding on to the past keeps your hands full, and hands that are full cannot receive anything new. But when you release, you open yourself to possibilities that could not exist before. Release is not loss, it is transformation. It is the removal of what drains you so you can step fully into what fuels you. Peaceful strength creates a different kind of attraction. People cannot resist someone who radiates stability in a world addicted to chaos. They sense the discipline it took to get there, the battles you fought internally to earn that calm. And while they may not say it out loud, they feel it deeply. They see that you no longer need attention to feel worthy. You no longer need validation to feel powerful. You no longer need noise to feel alive. That realization shakes them because it proves you have built something within that cannot be taken away. Every time you choose peace over reaction, you prove to yourself that you are in control. Every time you walk away from what disturbs your spirit, you strengthen your foundation. And every time you decide to keep moving forward without bitterness, you rise higher than before. The person you become in that process is not only stronger, but untouchable. You no longer fight battles that drain your soul. You no longer give energy to things beneath you. You simply live at a higher level, where peace is your power and growth is your answer. And when you live like that, the world cannot help but notice that you have become unstoppable.